Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and our will. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here lesson real quick, which is dealing with, how, there's a saying that I heard, Charlemagne say. He said, when the earth knucks, we ain't no bucking back. Basically saying, the way the earth is being, ran, basically, there's consequences to those things, and everything is out of whack, out of array, out of order. All right. But nevertheless, hey, the whole earth, and everything in the earth is crying out for new leadership. All right. Because let me just go ahead and read it. Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. So who's ruling the earth at this point in time? All right. We know that. Well, we'll get into it, but we know that Esau is ruling the earth at this point in time, right? It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not where and who is he? All right, and to back that up, as this is not a so-called quote-unquote race hatred type speech. Amen. Look who is controlling the whole earth. Who is able to put sanctions on other nations and things like that and stop the flow of things, all right? It's who, just look around, all right? But nevertheless, that's who's in control and ruling the earth at this current time. All right. So it says the earth is given into the hand of who? The wicked, not the righteous, but the wicked. All right. This is the condition that we're living under right now. All right. And you see, with the, all the pollution in the water. All right. Moving, people around in different areas, also animals and things like that around in different areas, messing up the ecosystems and things like that. All right. They're how you say their economies and their currencies and things like that, defrauding people left and right, man. All right. The whole world is pretty much in a mourning state. All right. Because of what? The way that this earth is being governed. All right. So nevertheless, we look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. All right. Under, the rule of Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, man. All right. Because, hey, with the devil ruling, man. All right. The whole earth is it's going to physically reel to and fro. But nevertheless, you're having all these volcanoes go off. All right. Earthquakes go off. All right. Mass extinction of animals and things like that throughout the planet Earth. All right. People losing their minds because they're being just fed garbage day in and day out, physically and figuratively. All right. The minds of people are corrupted because of the Babylonian juice they've been drinking. And then also the foods that people are eating, man. It's just, everything is a quote unquote carcinogen that's causing you cancer, man. All right. But nevertheless, let's continue on. It says Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. And so this is, again, the current state of the world that we're living in right now. Let's see what he wound up doing. This is Revelation chapter 6. I think it's verse 4. Yep. Revelation 6:4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So let's focus in on it, and there was given unto him a great sword real quick, just to hammer down a point of who the wicked is that the earth was given into the hands of. All right, so let's go to Genesis, Genesis 27 and verse 39, I believe it is. Well, we'll start at 39. Genesis 27 and 39. Now this is, let me start at verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and he wept. All right, so this is talking about Esau right here, right? And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. So again, reiterating that, part of his blessing was going to have a dominion over the earth. All right, but the difference between Esau's blessing and Jacob's blessing, as far as, the dominion over the earth, is Esau has a temporary dominion, whereas Jacob has an everlasting dominion, right? So it says again, let me read it from the top. Verse 39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. All right, and here's the other point. And by thy sword shalt thou live. All right, so who was given that great sword? All right, it would be Esau, right? So now let's go back to Revelation 6:4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red. All right, so we know that this is talking about Esau because what? It said that there was given unto him a great sword. All right, it says, and power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right, so again, How can he take peace from the earth if he wasn't in charge of the earth, right? So what did he wind up doing once he got the dominion over the earth? He took peace away from the earth, man, turned everything upside down, all right, became a wicked ruler, right? It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. All right. So, hey, once Esau got into that position of power, this is what he wound up doing with it. All right. Now let's go from because there was an article, not an article. There was like a little news clipping or whatever. They was talking about, I forgot what state it was in. Might have been in California, where basically they was out there. Some kid was outside supposed to be taking out the trash, and he saw basically a fleet of chariots, right? And then they told their parent or whatever, and they actually believed them this time. Came out and saw it. They saw it for themselves, and I believe it was even reported on the news and things like that. But these people were freaked out, and they're asking questions about what is this, what's going on, and then other people were chiming in on it. It was like, you know what? Maybe the aliens, right? Maybe the lease is up on the earth. Or maybe the aliens don't like how, they've entrusted us into the earth, and this is what we did to the earth. And these people aren't in the truth that was speaking of these things. But nevertheless, it was like, you know what? In a so-called carnal sense, you're right. You know what I'm saying? Because, you could say that the Lord and them are aliens in a sense of being foreign. As foreign to y'all, y'all don't really know what the hell's going on. Your ways versus their ways are foreign to one another. So nevertheless, they say, hey, the aliens are probably coming back to reclaim their property that they gave us and entrusted us into. Yeah, well, the earth was given into the hand of Esau. All right, so if it was given unto him, somebody had to give it to him at one point in time, and maybe the people that gave it to him is coming back to take it away from him. And that's exactly what we have going on. So let's read this in Revelation 1:7. It says, behold, he cometh with clouds, all right, going into those chariots that these people are starting to see more and more sightings of, and they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on, all right, and then they would make statements like that. Well, maybe the aliens want to take possession back of the earth because, they entrusted us into it and we didn't do a good job. And, again, in layman's terms, if I had to try to explain this to a 3-year-old, you know what I'm saying? Like, you understood the concept of aliens, like, all right, well, we could break it down to you that way, right? So it says, behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so amen. So, hey, going into that, like, the guy was saying, basically is like, reiterating the fact of, they gave us control over the earth, for a point in time, and we ain't been keeping up our end of the bargain, and now they're coming back to take hold of it, and people are being in fear because of all the things that's going on, not just with the chariot sightings, but with the volcanoes and the earthquakes and just, the tornadoes that's been going on, because every time you have these so-called natural disasters and things like that, that's pretty much what this guy is always going into. Or maybe, the aliens don't like how we rule in the earth, or when the earth nucks, you know what I'm saying, and we ain't bucking back. The earth has had enough of these things, man. All right. So, hey, wickedness is fulfilled. It's how do I say, its limit? It's reached its boundaries. All right. Of course, we still have some time to go forward, and it's going to keep increasing in wickedness. Hey, man, but we're pretty much to that feeling level right now, man. All right. And you're starting to see the signs of all these things coming back to pass. All right. Well, let me read it again. Behold, he cometh with clouds. All right. And every eye shall see him. Now, why would the Lord be coming back? All right. Now, in layman's terms, to save us, the elect. All right. Now, what is the elect being saved from? All right. What is it? Let me grab it real quick. Matthew 24:21 says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor shall ever be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh saved. So, hey, great tribulations to the point where ain't nobody going to survive. And that's under what? The rulership of the wicked that's in control of everything right now, right? But it says, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. All right, the elect of who? The Lord, right? Now, the Lord is coming back to do what? Gather his elect. Why? Because the Lord is also coming back to destroy this place and destroy those as I will destroy thee that destroyed the earth, roughly paraphrasing. All right. So, hey, the earth is in the hands of the wicked. And what did they do to the earth? Destroyed the whole damn earth, man. All right. And everything in it from the we can go on all day about what they did to the earth. Let me just touch on it briefly. Isaiah 24:1. Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty and maketh it waste, and he turneth it upside down and scatters abroad the inhabitants thereof. All right. So, or let me just read on down. It says, And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. Now going back, the land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh have spoken this word. All right. So again, going back into the earth being, not physically the whole earth being destroyed, but the way of the world, how they say, oh, my whole world is over. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I know has come to an end. All right. You could be a so-called R. Kelly is a prime example. Playboy lifestyle, rich and everything else like that. But now he in jail. Guess what? His world is over with, man. All right. But the earth is still here. Right. It says the earth also is defiled. Let me go to 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth, the way the world languish and fadeth, the way the haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, and this is what he did to the earth, right? The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws and changed the ordinance and broken the everlasting covenant. So you didn't uphold your end of the bargain, man. Just like if you go and buy a brand new car, some of these car companies is like, yo, man, you got to force to uphold our end of the bargain with, repairs and things and warranties. And you got to bring your car in at, certain times and certain markers to get, your service calls and everything else like that. And if you don't, or if you don't treat your car a certain type of way, we're not going to, uphold that warranty, more or less to say, all right, because you didn't corrupted it, man. All right. Nobody told you to go and take your brand new car and start putting all kind of parts into that car and everything else. Like, you voided your warranty at that point in time, man. All right. Verse 6 says, therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, a few men left. All right, so the whole earth was defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws and changed the ordinance and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, a few men left. So from their perspective, that they were speaking on basically saying that the aliens allowed them to run and rule the earth and everything else like that, and they weren't upholding their end of the bargain or taking care of it. Now the aliens are coming back and they all pissed off and they about to destroy your ass. I mean, to an extent, yeah. Well, but instead of aliens, I mean, of course the Lord is foreign to them. All right, but that's the Lord coming back, man. All right, we just read how the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. That was part of Esau's blessing. All right, but then look what he did to the earth. All right, so now the Lord has to come and destroy this here place, man. All right, you're starting to see the signs of these things as far as the chariot sightings and things like that. I mean, there's multiple other signs. Here's one of the signs as well. 2nd Ezra 6 and start at 7. It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the part and asunder of the times, or what shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So there's a contract, terms of just like the president, there's a certain amount of time that he can stay in office. Let's say he win two terms. It only is a maximum of 8 years, right? So, hey, you had a lease on this here place to rule this place. All right. So the beginning of it says, what shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows? So they got their term. What's the end of, let's just say, what shall be the end of the first, this got us the sitting president right now, and the beginning of the next person that could take presidency? When is his term going to be up? All right, so this is a term of quote unquote rulership, right? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau was born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, right? So this is ultimately when the time clock started, when these two boys was born. For Esau is the end of the world. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So if Esau is in control of the earth right now, and everything is falling apart and going to hell in a handbasket, we know that Esau time is coming to an end, all right? And then Jacob is going to rule. Now, who's going to be the head of the Israelite kingdom? All right, ultimately it's Yahweh, but then under him, you got Yahushua, right? But nevertheless, this is that the righteous rulers that's coming into place, man. All right, let me grab that. Okay, I think I know where it's at. I think it's right here. Yep. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1, it says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. So would you think that, if, well, let me just keep reading. As a judge of the people is himself, so is his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such as all that dwell therein. All right. So, just like a child to a parent. All right. If your parent is like going out just being a straight nigga, junkie and everything else like that, not hygienic, not cleaning up, they're a hoarder and everything else like that. What you think the child going, they say the apple don't fall far from the tree, right? So how you think that child's going to grow up? All right. So just put this in a larger perspective. If the rulers of these people are all corrupt and stealing and everything else like that, hey man, these people are going to be the same way. All right. Well, in this sense of righteous, if they being righteous, then the people are going to be righteous. Let's continue on. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. So if an unwise king destroyeth his people, all right, look at the rulers that we have right now. What are they pushing and promoting? The community's agenda. All right, you can be as lazy as you want, and don't have to work, and we'll take care of you. All these different things, man. All right, pushing all these things that they know that is going to corrupt the minds. When you go into ideological subversion, all right, there was an ex-KGB dude who broke this down about how, during the Cold War, this was what Russia was doing to America and vice versa. And if you ask me, it was pretty much the same thing from top down, because they got no matter what type of rulership that you have, all these people are all in the same boats. They're all facing the same thing. You could say, oh, America's ran this way and China's ran that way. Well, how come, when you have the population, what do they call it? The birth rate type of thing where people are being born. How come those are on a decline in both places? How come marriages are in decline in both places? But they ran two completely opposite ways, man. All right, because it's the same agenda, man, all the way down to the bottom. All right. It says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord. So, hey, just like we were reading earlier about how, when Isaac blessed the two boys and gave them their blessings. All right. And if you know who that is in the reincarnation, it's the same person that's going to be taking away those blessings and then also giving a blessing unto Jacob, taking that sword out of Esau's hand and everything else like that. So, nevertheless, it says the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time, he will set over it one that is profitable. And this is why you have Yahushua coming back, man. Just like they said, man, how did they say it again? They said basically the aliens are pissed off. The planet belonged to the aliens, and they allowed us to lease it out for a while. You know what I'm saying? And this is how we did the Earth and everything else. Like now the aliens are all pissed off, and they coming back to take the deed away. It's like you got a rental car, and you're supposed to, how they say, don't smoke in a rental car, don't do this and don't do that. But you wanted to pull a jackass and go do a destruction derby and put a roll cage in the damn car, bro. They finna come and take that shit up off your hands, man, ASAP, and then charge you for it, man. There's a judgment to pay for those things, man. And this is what you're seeing happening right now. In that rental car example I just gave, man, they didn't hit your credit report, suspended your license, and it got a lawsuit out against your ass, man. Now the judgment is coming down. You got to pay for these things, man, because you completely destroyed the product that was given unto you, man. You didn't know how to take care of these things, man. So now it's going to go to one that's profitable, man. And as you see, you have the men of the Lord that's taking, how do I say? We're following after the Lord and the Lord's ways. All right. But we're the only ones that's out here on the highways and the byways, sighing and crying for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Everybody else is cool with it, man. All right. So, hey, man, like the scripture says, the saints shall take the kingdom, man. All right. It's going to be given over into the saints because, hey, man, we see a righteous way of living, man. And we want to live we look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. That's how we want to live, man. No more living like this, man. All right. This here, the time of living in wickedness it's not pleasurable, bro. All right, the whole earth is mourning and crying out. All right, so I'll close out. I wanted to grab some more, but I'll close out with this. So we're just speaking about how Yahushua's going to come and take the kingdom, right? Revelation 19:11 says, "And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse." All right, the Lord coming back. Like we just read in Revelation 1:7 about the Son of Man coming through clouds. And all eyes seeing him in the morning. All right, it's the same thing talking about those chariots. All right. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. All right, so the people that's controlling the earth is destroying the earth and destroying the people. Now the Lord is coming back in righteousness and doth judge. So he's judging whether or not you're ruling in righteousness or in wickedness. And if you're ruling in wickedness, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to make war against you. And then, there's other precepts that go along with it. Like, if you steal a man or if he be found in your hands, hey, you got to pay by blood, man. All right, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, man. All right, and all of our adversaries, every last one of them shall go into captivity. So, hey, it's all adding up. All right, this is what you're starting to see. And when you have this so-called alien invasion that you people are going to be freaking out about, it's really the Lord coming to save his elect, all right, and put everybody else down, man, and put them in a subjection, all right? It says his eyes were a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. The reason he has these many crowns because he's taking the rulership from off the heads of these wicked ass people, man. All right, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Talking about the Lord coming back with his chariots, man. All right, and out of the mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and tread at the winepress of the fierceness and the wrath of the almighty power. All right, going back into Yahushua, taking the crowns off the heads of these kings and waging war against them, man. All right, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. All right, and how do you say a supreme rulership, man. All right. That's pretty much it. I mean, you can keep reading, you know what I'm saying, further on down below, and it's just, still going into the same thing. But hey, the earth is in need of new rulership, man. And the only people that's out here that's we'll close out with that as a matter of fact. The only people that's out here saying anything, all right, is the elect. All right. Ezekiel 9:4 says, and Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark or an exemption from judgment upon the forehead of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So everybody else is cool with the way that the earth is moving, or is not man enough to say anything about it, all right, because they're comfortable in their positions and don't want to be knocked out of those things, all right. They don't want to come to the light because their deeds are evil as well, all right. But nevertheless, hey, you have the men of the Lord that sign and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So what? The Lord's going to come back and judge in righteousness, save his elect, all right, and then set up a righteous kingdom, man. All right, so hey, man, the earth is in need of a new rulership, new leadership, man. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that, Lord willing. Oh, did I grab? Let me see. This came to mind. I'm not sure if I grabbed this or not. Let me see. I actually grabbed it already. Sirach 10. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and ever will. And citation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.